learning Ulilevi Omer, Vayigash, Toshin Samachay. Friday night, the Rebbe Zt said, we find in the Parsha many times the Ian of Agolos. The word Agolos shows up in Vayigash many times. It means wagons. Paro sent wagons, and he said, bring to Mitzrayim Agolos. Take from Mitzrayim wagons. Yosef gave them wagons according to the rule of Paro, and these were all for the purpose of bringing Yaakov and his family to Mitzrayim. Afterwards, we find when Yaakov Avinu was told that Yosef is still alive, he didn't believe them until he saw the wagons. Chazal say that it was a simon to tell Yaakov Avinu we were learning Hilchos Eglah Arufa when we left, that Yosef learned with his father before he went to ask how his brothers were doing in Shechem. They sold him to the Midyanim, sold him to the Yishmaelim, and he came down to Mitzrayim. We have to understand that there's two types of wagons. They hint at two concepts, contradictory ones. There are those who bring them down into the Golus. There are the wagons that bring a person to redemption, to Mashiach. When he saw the Agolos, which Yosef sent, that's when it was Vatchi Ruach Yaakov Avinu. To go down to Golus didn't make Yaakov happy. But these Agolos that Yosef sent show that the redemption will come. However, the Agolos that sent Paro sent, they were the wagons to bring in Klal Yisrael into the bitter servitude of Mitzrayim. Because through those wagons, you go from place to place. That means from Eretz Yisrael to Mitzrayim. There's another aspect of Agolos, which represents the continuity of Klal Yisrael. Every Jew always has a situation that he's brought deeper into the Golus, and what does Klal Yisrael have to do? They have to be in Golus. However, every Jew always has the ability of a Tchi Ruach Yaakov Avinu. In the Golus, every Jew thinks about Gula. We should get out of the Golus. When you recognize that you're in Golus and half the job is done, and even though we suffer from the exile, we have the feeling of knowing what's happening to Yeshua. It's one of the things that is obligatory on a Jewish person to hope for salvation. And the Agolis, they gave a person the ability to believe, to be able to live in Golos, because the Egyptian Agolis that the Melech sent were for servitude. But Yosef was to show that you can remain a Jew even in Golos, because ultimately there will be the Gula. Means that every Jew will have the ability to make himself live as a Jewish person. Yaakov Avinu lo yimeis, Mazarei b'chaim afu b'chaim. The Golus is intertwined with the belief in the coming of Mashiach. The Rebbe concludes, there's another aspect of Agolis. We learn in Chazal that Yosef sent a message to Yaakov that he was learning Parshas Eglah Arufa. That here maybe he was sending a message, a hidden message, that it wasn't simple that he came to Mitzrayim. Yaakov never asked why or how it happened. We never find Yaakov asking Yosef. But in a sense he was saying, we learned Eglah Arufa. Eglah Arufa means even if somebody is not involved himself, something happens because of what he does. Therefore, just like the Zakanim would say, we did not spill this blood. That obviously we're not assuming the Zakanim killed him, but it means not through our actions did this come about. Therefore, we have to learn a message that if through one's actions something not good comes about, then it's as if he did it. That's what he was showing the Agolos. That the brothers, they had the option of not doing what they did, but because of what they did, we had to go down to Mitzrayim. That's what Yosef hinted at in the Agolos, that he wanted to point out to his brothers how difficult and terrible is the sin that they did. That not only their actions is forbidden, but even when you cause it by others to do that which happens because of you, we have to hope for the Gula Shlema to be able to be mitzapim Yeshua, the merit of coming of Mashiach Tzidkeinu b'mehera v'yameinu. Amen.